Hello and welcome to the latest edition of the Testing Peers podcast, or the launch podcast for the PeersCon 26, where we'll be announcing the committee and also the theme for this year's conference. Before we get onto that, I'd like to give a sponsor message. So we'd like to thank Enfocus to sponsoring us. They are a UK-based software testing company. They've been supporting the business for 24 years by providing services that include burst resource, accelerated test automation, performance testing, fully managed testing services, and in 2021, they launched the Test Automation Academy to create some amazing testers, and they've now created jobs for over 48 people in our industries in just under 3 years, which is amazing. Well done. If you want to contact them, then please go to their website at www.enfocus.co.uk or contact them via email at info@enfocus.co.uk. So the conference will be taking place in Nottingham at the Trent Conference Centre on the 12th of March 2026. And I have the pleasure in announcing the committee members. I myself am a co-chair on it, along with Simon Pryor.
Hello.
And I'd like to welcome the other people on the conference committee to the podcast today. So we're starting off with Rita Avota.
Hello.
Suman Bala.
Hiya.
Dan Ashby.
Hi there.
And Beth Marshall.
Hello.
And the six of us will be announcing the theme of the conference today and talking about it and explaining how you can actually submit papers for it. The conference itself, the call for papers, is now open, and you will find all the details on the website at testingpeerscon.com. As is normal for the podcast, we go to banter, and this time it is Beth that's going to do the banter.
Excellent. Okay. So I don't think David is anywhere near as excited as he needs to be, considering we've just announced the new conference, which is awesome. And is one of my favorite conferences as an attendee. So if anyone is any of the previous attendees, which I know that we got lots and lots of great feedback from earlier attendees about this particular conference, I'm looking forward to seeing you all again in March. And hopefully we'll get some more newbies there too. More on that later. When it comes to banter, let's try and think of something conference specific. So I think David came up with a little idea for the rest of the committee. So tell us something that people might not know about you that you'd be really happy to talk about with attendees at the conference. So this could be anything from kind of stuff you're into personally, any random facts or skills that you have, or maybe even something you're kind of currently exploring professionally. Suman, over to you.
Thanks. I've been, keeping an eye on this conference, and I really wanted to attend next year. So when Simon reached out, do you want to be committed? I was like, yes.
Big time.
Yeah, big time, right? So for me, I'm a ambidextrous person. Obviously, that doesn't go with the conference theme. What I would like to talk about is how to bake quality into different things, and maybe lesson learned from failures. Because once we learn from failures, then we can reflect on it. And I'm big on automation and accessibility. So yeah. Hook me up. Cheers. And now,
sounds good.
Shall I pass it over to next person?
Yes.
Okay, Dan, over to you.
Yo, thanks, Suman. Okay, so I actually love playing musical instruments. I love playing guitar, bass, getting quite good on the piano, and I'm good at getting a tune out of a range of other instruments. And I used to play in a band as well. So what I'd love to discuss at the conference is how having other non-testing talents, how that's actually helped in your testing career, and things like if you've been in a band, how is that sort of group collaboration, that sort of being a member in a team like that, how is that translated into your working context as well? That's what I'd love to talk about. Okay, I'm going to pass it to Rita.
Hello, I am actually new to the conference. I have not been in it previously, and I am new to the committee. I am very excited to be part of this lovely gang of people. My random thing for banter is a bit of a fluffy one. I have a cat that is over 11 kilos, and he is not obese, and he looks like a little lynx, and he is very adorable. Beth has met him. I have volunteered in other conferences, and it's always been really nice talking to people about their experiences, having little laughs together, intertwining serious chat and experiences in between of just casual little life stories and puns and jokes. So I always enjoy fun interaction with people around me. And I will pass it on to David.
Yeah, so for me, I used to be a teacher and my degree was in science. Basically, I'm a biologist at heart and fell into the IT industry and the technology industry. So my sort of conversation is always about exploratory testing. I see exploratory testing as a series of little experiments, that small quick wins of trying to do that and trying to convince people or talking about with passion. And I'm sorry, Beth, for not being so passionate about the conference. I am incredibly passionate about the conference, but I'm also passionate about science. So yeah, please do talk to me about that and also making exploratory testing and testing into that. Simon.
One thing that people may find they want to talk to me about at the conference or may be able to talk to me about at the conference, I think the obvious one would be the neurodiversity side of things, the different mindsets, the unique skill sets that people may have because of the way they think, how that helps them, benefits them in a testing and quality role, and also just that general movement of embracing neurodiversity in tech. I think that's a great point that I would be able to talk to people and support people on.
Beth.
Fab. I guess my little bit of banter before we come on to the big theme announcement. I've got quite a few interests. If anyone would like to speak to me about RuPaul's Drag Race, you will find a fellow super fan. Yeah, I'm a little bit addicted to it. It's my guilty pleasure. I can also attest that Rita's cat is like a little mini lion and it's the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. It's stuff I find interesting, and the things I find interesting about conferences is the conversations you can have that you can't have on kind of a public network like LinkedIn, where people can see what you're saying and you can't necessarily be disparaging, you've got to watch your tone, etc. So come and speak to me if you want to kind of have a real discussion about maybe things that gripes at work. I love kind of realizing what the common themes are. Every workplace, the same kind of issues happen. And sometimes some people have unique ways of solving some of those problems. So I would love to talk to anyone about any of that cool stuff, because that always ticks a big box for me of why conferences are so valuable. Okay, well, I guess it's on to the big theme reveal. So Suman, over to you.
Yeah, when we initially came together, we had so many ideas, and all those ideas were great, but we can't have multiple, themes. But there was one theme which stuck with all of us, and we were like, yes, this is something, where everyone can contribute to. So the theme is context is everything. Lessons from the universality of quality and testing across different industries. So quality and testing principles may be universal, but their application varies dramatically across context. A quality engineer working on a highly regulated environment faces different challenges than a gaming quality engineer, managing real-time multiple chaos. Yet both share fundamental insights about risk, user impact, and systematic thinking. This theme focuses on diversity of testing experiences across industries while uncovering the common challenges all of us can relate to, right? Whether you are testing retail apps, financial services, or manufacturing processes, your context shape your testing approach. We are looking for speakers from every industry and experience level to share their real-world challenges and lessons learned, hoping to provide knowledge that can be used in audiences on context and raising the quality bar across industry. So what are you waiting for? Cheers.
Awesome. So I think that's a really, really, really cool theme, and it gives potential speakers quite a lot of scope. When it comes to kind of thinking about the theme itself, because I know that's quite critical for a conference to kind of get that nailed. Would anyone like to kind of speak more about why we picked this particular theme, why it stood out for you?
I've worked a lot across a huge range of business domains, and there's a lot of emphasis, especially early in your career, there's a lot of emphasis on learning the business domain to become a better tester. But actually, there is, coming to that word, universality, right? That there's a lot of stuff that you can learn in one domain that applies across pretty much every other domain. And a lot of testers, I feel like personally, when I was in my younger days, in the earlier parts of my career, I felt like I was, okay, I'm in this industry, I'm connected to this industry now, it's going to be really hard to move out of this industry. Even you hear it now where people talk about games testing, like you mentioned, Suman. And it's quite hard to get into games testing or get out of games testing into other domains. But actually, the skills that you're learning, the strategies, the frameworks, all this kind of stuff, the tools, there's a lot of universality across that. So for me, this theme is a great way for bringing lots of different people from different domains together so that they can share those differences, but also people can build an understanding of that commonality.
I just wanted to add to that I think the other key thing that I found with other conferences is that it's very much software focused. They're all talking about software and everything else. The reason this theme resonated with me is I don't come from a purely software background. I work on embedded systems, I work on hardware. And so therefore, this allows the flexibility of looking into those domains and seeing the similarities between them and allowing potential people who are in the software space to look at other opportunities in other areas rather than just feeling that they can only add value within the software environment.
And I would also like to, like, chip in, because it's not just about, testing an application. For example, if you're spinning a dashboard, whether you're spinning for your team, then context matter, and you will, have like different, information, more technical bits. But if you're creating a dashboard, let's say for your senior leadership team, then you will, put something different, information. So it's not just about, testing, and it can, vary a lot. Yeah.
It is also a theme that offers something to all levels of professionals. You can be a complete beginner and you can be within the quality sphere for decades, and there will be still something for you to pick up.
I think this theme, as Suman said when she introduced it, this is a common theme that we all kind of jumped on straight away. This idea that everybody's testing context is different. Everybody's working in a different organization that maybe have different ways of working. And then if you look across industries, whether it be the regulated medical industries or the aviation industry or the finance or the e-commerce or the retail, everywhere has different things that are important to them and what their benefit is that they're working towards. And that can have a different impact on testing and how we need to do it. I guess the real idea around this was, how do we get those experience stories? How do we get that understanding of how people may be able to take some learnings from how testing teams are doing it in the medical or pharmaceutical industry and bring it back to their company in the retail world or in the gaming world? And there is this cross-pollination of skill sets that will be able to benefit from that. There will be certain ways of doing things or identifying tests that I think will be really key to really bring out in this. And also the leadership side of things and the quality journey and how is quality talked about in that type of industry. These are all things that I don't think there's conferences that sort of have focused on this. And I think this is a good chance for the PeersCon 26 to really bring that topic to the fore. And hopefully it means we'll get some different stories from all experience levels, all industries, and bringing the program together will be a chance to introduce some new voices that may not have felt they could contribute before because the conference theme was not something they felt comfortable talking about. So hopefully this gives us an opportunity to bring something together, and we can hopefully then work that through and create a really great program.
One thing I would say is, if you are thinking of putting a paper forward, it doesn't matter what level you are. You can be a newbie. You can have your hopes and dreams of what you want to aspire to as part of your career, as well as those people who are the leaders, who are looking to shape teams and shape the future of testing and quality within their environments.
Yeah, I think that's a really good point. And I definitely picked up from the earlier PeersCons how supportive they are to new speakers. It's often one of my highlights of the conference, seeing people that have never spoken before and just kind of being a bit of an anonymous cheerleader for those people. And I know I'm never the only one in the audience that is there with that kind of attitude. So it's definitely a great conference to, if you're running through your mind, oh, I'd like to speak at a conference sometime, this will be a great starting point on that journey. I think for me, something that I've noticed from conferences the past maybe 12 months is how heavy they are on one sole topic, and that sole topic tends to be AI. I don't want to feel like there's no place here for any AI conversations at all like that. I do enjoy talking about AI, but sometimes it can get a bit repetitive. and a little samey. I'm really happy that there's such a broad sweep of the theme is so broad. You can bring AI into it if you wish, but there's certainly no mandatory reason why you need to elbow it into a particular talk. You know, we want all sorts of viewpoints at this conference.
Yeah. And if someone is toying between multiple ideas, they can submit more than one, right?
Oh, yeah. What's your maximum that you've ever submitted, Suman, for a conference?
3.
Can anyone beat 3?
I've done 5 before.
Dan, well
5,
done.
but only one got accepted.
Was at least one of them successful
One
in
was
both those
successful,
cases?
yeah, but it was the one that I didn't want to do, but I knew it would get me in there. The other ones were much more appealing for me because it was like a new topic, but probably less appealing for everyone else. But still.
So actually now is perhaps a good time to talk about the submission process. There is a page on the website, as I said, PeersCon.com. If you look on there, there will be the call for papers. The theme will be there, the details of what Suman described just then. And we basically we've opened the window, I think, until probably the end of September to allow you plenty of time to come up with ideas. Please submit multiple times. The conference itself has 2 streams. There is a conference stream of speakers, and then there's a workshop stream, and you're welcome to put ideas forward for each of those, and the details are in there. In terms of submissions, you can do a written submission, or you can also do a video submission for those people that find it difficult to express their enthusiasm or their words in the written word. Through the procedure that we'll be looking at to choose the papers, they will, as far as possible, be anonymized. I say as far as possible because obviously it's difficult to anonymize videos, but all written submissions will be anonymized and shared between the committee group and other members of the testing peers and assessed and scored. We will obviously give feedback to anyone that has submitted papers, either successful, obviously, and we can then support you in that. So even if it's the nugget of an idea, if we think there's potential, we can help support you, especially if you're a new person speaking and you'd like more support, then please do reach out to us as part of that, because we really would like to support you and see you on that stage. And if you're unsuccessful, then we will make sure that we give feedback to you to see why it wasn't chosen as part of the theme and to give you pointers as to hopefully be successful in further conferences. Or another PeersCon if you choose to submit a paper in future years.
David, you mentioned about newbies. Yes, we want to support newbies, but let's assume there's someone newbie, they can't do full-fledged talks. So is there appetite for lightning talks?
As a committee, we can certainly decide exactly what's actually happened. We haven't done lightning talks before, but that is an option definitely.
So speaking of kind of newbies, then we did touch on this briefly. How does the conference cater for people all along the kind of experience level? So I think a brilliant thing is that you will be able to get feedback on your submission. If you're there to submit a talk, you can get feedback on your submission from people like us in the committee, and we're all kind of experienced quality engineers or software testers. So we're people that actually work in the industry, and we can give you hopefully some pretty detailed and valuable feedback, which might be useful. But in terms of attendees, let's say, how do you think PeersCon will cater for those along the more newer experience level, but also those that are quite experienced?
The thing about PeersCon, or any conference really, but especially PeersCon, is that it is really driven by the people. So we have been able to do it from a grassroots event. It's non-profit. We are delivering it from testers for testers, which is why we've created the committee that we have done today. What we're trying to do as part of this is to establish a conference that, as we've said, caters for those people new to the industry. But in order to create that safe environment for those new people, then we also need to have established people from the community who can enthuse and encourage and really help those people to stay in the industry and be enthusiastic. And I think that's why the topic works, is because it does cater for everything. It isn't just a niche topic. As Beth said, we're not just looking for AI things. We appreciate that is part of the changing environment of the testing things, but actually we want people to really broaden their horizons and think how we can help each other in this wonderful industry.
Yeah, I was going to say that's a good answer, David. And for me, like in the title of the theme as well, context, that's a big word. A lot of people throw it around, but actually we're not just talking about the context in which you're testing, it's the context and the role level as well. So the way that I see this theme, catering for even people that aren't testers, but maybe in test leadership roles when they're thinking about strategy, that range of that sort of domain variance and strategies that support a range of skilled testers, whether it's new people or experienced people, that's the sort of stuff that should be in this conference as well, and having the leaders there also allow the sort of new people to see and speak to a range of people so that they can see even what their career pathways could be. That's part of why we've targeted such a wide theme, is so that we can cater to that range of people as well. So I agree with what you said there, David.
And I would say not just like, people from testing or quality engineering background, because this theme can, like people from different, roles. If someone is agile, a leadership role, or a dev, or engineering manager, they can also come forward and submit.
That's a really good point. Yeah, we are not just looking for testers to give talks. They can be, as you say, at any particular level and any particular discipline. We are a very welcoming audience, and we'd be very interested to hear what other disciplines have to say.
I've seen some really good talks from kind of people in the academic space recently that are interested in doing academic papers on software testing and that kind of area that were really interesting. And I think the part of the theme that interests me is having actionable insights you can take back to the office with you. So I think that works for people at any stage, really. The value of a conference is not just hearing those, having that actionable stuff from talks or workshops. It's the number of opportunities you get to kind of talk to people in other industries, in similar domains or different domains to you, at different stages of their career to you. And one thing that I definitely know about PeersCon is how many opportunities there are to talk to other people and how much people are encouraged to talk to other people. There's loads and loads of little kind of coffee breaks in between talks. I remember having chats with people from a much smaller company to me, but they were quite new to testing, and they got to pick my brain for half an hour about automation strategies. And it's not like the people that you meet at a conference are there to sell you stuff, So it's really valuable having that kind of level of interaction, I think, to bring those actionable insights back. I'm curious, David, is there anything that you've learned or we've learned? I know we had the retrospective episode not too long ago. This will be the third PeersCon.
Yeah.
What have you learned from the previous two, both in terms of positives and maybe things that you might like to change that you're going to use in this conference?
I think one of the key things, which is why we're launching it so early, is to get the theme out early, get things organized. So we are hoping to have at least let the speakers know. I think the timeline is by the end of this year. So by the end of December, the speakers will know. They won't know the placement. We won't agree the program, but we will have agreed the speakers as part by the end of the year. So that's one thing, is getting things organized a lot earlier this year than we did. The first year we started in November and got it in March. I don't think we did. I think we started in September and finished in March. So the fact that we're starting it in July, we've got a bit longer, which is great. In terms of the actual day itself, and in terms of the talk, I think what we've learned in thinking about the programs is a good mix, as Beth said, of learning things that people can take back to their actual workplace. They might not be able to take it all, but we are looking for user stories as well. People always like a user story as part of that. The workshops are always very useful. People are always torn between the workshop and the conference talks. The difficulty is, and we've always had criticism of, we could have multi-track, we could have, why do you have them all at the same time? Well, we can't please everyone, and we have to fit as much as we can within the particular day. We choose not to record it at the moment, as much because of cost, because we are completely self-funding, so we're basing it on sponsorship. So that's not an option at the moment, unless we get a windfall of money as well. But at the end of the conference, we do ask the people who attended the conference to give feedback on each of the speakers, and we then give constructive feedback to each of the speakers as well as part of that, so as an ongoing feedback process.
Cool. I think it's really good that you've been able to lock the venue down as well, because that got so much positive feedback. The food was amazing. And the venue is so good.
The food is almost the cost of the ticket itself. So everything else is a bonus.
It's so worth it. But the ticket cost is so cheap.
Yes.
Like some conferences are so expensive now. And I think keeping the cost down and being a bit more aware that a lot of people are self-funding their conference attendance nowadays. It's sometimes hard to get kind of the sign off from work, and just being able to have that conference at a reasonable price makes a huge difference, I think.
Yeah, if I'm thinking about then I was like, yeah, I'll just think I ordered a takeaway which went wrong, and then but on that price I get to attend like a really fully packed conference, which I can, like use in my future years too.
One thing I would say is that unfortunately, because we're self-funding, we can't pay speakers to attend, and we can't guarantee payment for transport as well as part of that. So you would have to come to the conference under your own steam in order to do that and stay as well.
And that obviously includes all of us also. So
yes,
don't go thinking any of us are getting any remuneration out of this, but we are getting a lot of value out of it.
Absolutely.
One kind of final question then. What is it about PeersCon, about this particular conference, that you're most excited about? Go ahead, David.
So for me, this is our third year. And as I said, Simon and I are co-chairs. I'm excited about the theme. I'm excited about doing it for a third time, and just having the responsibility of putting the program together. I know what the buzz is like there. I know what it's like, and being a major part of that feeling and the vibe in the room is really exciting for me. I know I've been volunteer as well in the background, but helping form the theme and the overall feeling of the conference is really exciting.
Awesome. Rita, what are you excited for? I'm excited to see you. That's going to be one of my highlights.
I know.
You're coming a long way, right?
I am very excited to visit and go see the conference in person, because I'm not a regular either conference attendee or anything like that. It's always just like a unique experience to some extent. It's just like sprinkling some new type of magic in my life. It can be a bit exhausting, but at the same time, it is like a very livening experience to see all the people and share experiences and share conversations. So you never know what you're going to stumble into in these kinds of environments, and you never know what is the talk you're going to hear it, and it's like, this really spoke to me, and you come back and you're just like so much more inspired. So I'm really looking forward to this whole experience, and just go in with an open mind and see what it brings, and see what new people I meet, and spend time with the people I already know. It's going to be beautiful.
It will. It'll be awesome. Suman, how are you feeling about it?
Yeah, for me, a team, yes, of course. But at the same time, I get to plan this conference with people like I love. Beth, I've worked with you in the past, and I absolutely, love that. But Dan, I admire your continuous, testing model. So I think for me, it was also like, oh, I will also get to learn something from Dan by planning this conference. And Rita, I've never worked with you, but, and David too. So I think for me, planning this conference is also one of my learning journeys. I'm quite excited about that.
That is a very good point. I have actually worked with all of you, apart from David, in a very weird way, considering I did not put this committee together.
No.
Just a small world, isn't it? Across lots of different domains, back to the theme. Boom.
Well, I haven't actually worked directly with anybody, so everyone is new to me. Well, actually, having said I haven't worked, Dan came to our work and gave a workshop on quality engineering just over a year ago.
What I'm most excited about is just the chance of doing this conference again, bringing more people together. PeersCon 24 and 25 have been two of the, and I know I'm biased, two of the most exciting conferences I've been to, partly because there's that factor of we did this, we put this on, and we've helped build this community. But watching it grow and watching it move to that next step where this becomes a regular conference and we get the regular attendees, but we start to bring more people into the community, and we start to build that brand out further, and we start to help more people within the testing world by just being a community where people feel part of. That's really exciting. And to do it again, to make it bigger, to bring a theme that may bring some different speakers and different contexts into the conversation, I'm really excited. And I can't wait to go through the next 12 months and really plan this journey out and get us to the point of having a program that we're really excited to put on the 12th of March next year.
And Dan, what are you most excited about with the conference?
Yeah, so to echo working with you all, really exciting there. But actually, in addition to that, because my role changed more to engineering leadership, this is going to be my first testing conference in a few years, actually. And I used to be addicted to them. So I'm really excited. And I've never been to PeersCon before, although I've been an avid follower of the podcast. It's just really exciting to get back into it and get to see some old friends, but also make some new ones and hear some new stories and find out what's been happening in the community for the time that I haven't really been involved in the conferences. So yeah, really exciting. What about you, Beth? You haven't said?
Oh, I'm just a little ball of excitement for all of the reasons you've given, really. Yeah, it's just going to be really nice. I think the whole from start to finish experience is just going to be a positive one, really. I'm really interested to learn from talk submissions, actually, to see what people are interested in talking about and how that can relate, trying to weave a thread of a story through the different talks and stuff. I think is going to be really interesting, like putting a good album together. I think I remember Lee Rathbone, yeah, being on stage at the first PeersCon, and you could tell, I mean, he's an enthusiastic, effervescent kind of guy anyway, naturally, but he just had a different feel about him on the day because he picked up on just the vibe in the room, which was genuinely a load of people being there because they really wanted to be there, and they were enthusiastic and positive and there to kind of pick up some good stuff. And amazed that they could get the value they could get for the cost that they were paying for a ticket. And as a Yorkshire person, anything that I can get relatively cheap does it for me. So I'm excited for all of those reasons, really. It's going to be a good one.
Yeah, brilliant. Just to say that, as I said, the website is now available, testingpeerscon.com. Please go there. Please look for tickets. We are planning, hopefully, to have up to 500 people there this year. So I hope that this theme has excited you to either put forward a paper, and please look for the details of submissions. We are also looking for keynote submissions. As we mentioned, you can go for a regular talk or a workshop. We've mentioned lightning talks. If we go down that route, lightning talks we imagine to be about 10-15 minutes, a very short talk. So therefore, you won't need to put quite so much effort in as a large talk. And also, we are happy to mentor or coach new speakers as part of this. Please do put down as part of your submission that you are a new speaker and that you would like support, and we can certainly look into that. If you are listening to this and you would like to sponsor us, there are two options for sponsor: either large company sponsorship, again, the details are on the website, or you can also donate. So there's a ticket option for donations. So they don't actually buy a ticket, of which you can buy a ticket for a scholarship, but you can just donate. So if you want to donate more than your ticket price, there is a separate ticket option for you to put the value in that you want to donate, and that will go directly into running costs of the conference. As I said, it is not for profit. Everything is driven back into the community and trying to enhance the conference and what we do for the testing community itself. Please do not be put off by us talking about new speakers. We are passionate about including everybody. And so therefore we want to give you the support. So that's why we've carried on talking about new speakers and allowing people to have that first step up onto the stage. And don't be put off by the 500 people. You know, they're all friendly, they're all part of the community, and they will all be there supporting you and cheering you on. So that leaves me to say thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much, everybody here on the podcast, Rita, Suman, Dan and Beth, for agreeing, first of all, to being part of the committee. I'm looking forward to working with you and inviting the committee and everyone to Nottingham in March next year to see the fruits of this theme, which is the context is everything, lessons from the universality of quality and testing across different industries. So come up with your ideas, and we look forward to hearing your submissions. Thank you.
For now, it's goodbye from the testing peers.
Bye.
Bye.
See you later.
Hello.